covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
He's set. Here comes the one strike pitch to Langoliers. That's grounded up the middle. Sajaci has it on the backhand. Off balance throw. And he got it at first base. Big time play by Sajaci. And it is indeed save number 7 for JoJo Romero as the Cardinals win here at Busch Stadium by a score of 5-1 and win the series 2-1 here at Busch Stadium against the hot Athletics.
That's how this one finished off tonight. The Cardinals come away victorious. They knock off the A's 5-1. They take 2 of 3, as Ricky just said. And with that, we do welcome you into the Extra Innings Show. We are presented by Gray Bar. Gray Bar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. My name is Matt Pauley, coming your way from Busch Stadium. If you want to get involved in the program, multiple ways to get connected. You can call or text 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or for those of you who are watching on the video stream, we welcome in your comments on the chat, and we can address some of those as we go along through the program tonight. This was one where offensively you look at Nolan Gorman and you look at Wilson Contreras, and then from a pitching standpoint, everybody did their job. Kyle Leahy gave up a run out of the bullpen, but I don't think he pitched poorly. And then JoJo Romero came in and certainly took care of business. Those two guys gave up some hits, but just one run over the final 3 2/3 innings between Leahy and Romero. You'll take that. Matthew Liberatore is very good. This was a substantial step forward for him, and he just looked good. He looked really good for sure, and that was good to see from him because I thought his last start was a step forward for him, and then for him to take another step today is good. And with Liberatore, there's kind of two things going on. You do want to see him get better as kind of go back to where he was earlier in the season, but I think even more important than that is him continuing to take the ball every 5th day and having a very standard final month of the season, pitching every 5th day, and then that allows him to go into an off season and have hopefully that sets him up to post a little bit better next year without the quick lull that he had when he kind of hit a wall this year. But it's a really good sign what we're seeing from Liberatore right now for sure, and that's a good development that comes out of this game today. We're already getting a bunch of messages that are coming in. Just let this be a Nolan Gorman appreciation. We talked about Gorman on the show a little bit. I believe it was last night. Days run together on me when you do a job like this. Every day feels like the previous one. But I mentioned the fact that Gorman has been one of the best hitters for the Cardinals since June 1st. There's a lot of people out there that are not accepting of that because he's always going to be a guy who strikes out. Now, his strikeout numbers are better this year than they've been previously. But he is somebody that from you look at what he has done since June 1st, it has been very, very good. And he's been one of the top hitters on the team. And I think he deserves the respect for what he has been able to do so far here. With his performance tonight, let's run the numbers from June 1st. He's got almost an 800 OPS, a 790 OPS since June 1st. And that's one of the best on the team in that period. Now, what we talked about last night was he had not hit over his last 7 games. And what you wondered was, okay, we've seen a roller coaster ride before with Gorman. Is that what this is, or was the last 7 days just kind of a speed bump? And one game, 1 3 for 3, 1 home run doesn't change that overall narrative. But I made the comment last night, hey, if you're Nolan Gorman, it's important to not let this extend out. Well, then it didn't extend out because he was able to put together a good performance today, offensively and defensively. He was really good over at third. So for everybody who was really, really concerned about what he was doing defensively when he first started playing there every day again, and we talked about the fact that, yes, it was not acceptable what the defense looked like from him earlier on, that doesn't change the fact that it was likely to get much better, and I think we have seen it get much better in that time. Let's go to the phones. Greg has given us a call. Hey, Greg, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
What the defense looked like for him earlier on. This is Gary.
Okay, well, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering how Brendan Donovan's doing, and you think he'll be back in?
Yeah, appreciate the phone call. Still no timeline given on Brendan Donovan. They're working through this thing. Look, the calendar is not a friend to Brendan Donovan right now because there is a month left in the season, basically, less than that. And so for them to, there's no plan yet to get him out on a rehab or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm not saying that he won't play again this year, but just the fact that we're sitting here and there's not a timeline on him whatsoever, that is something that doesn't bode well for us seeing a lot of Brendan Donovan before the season comes to an end. Let's get to a message that was sent in by Walt, and I find this to be interesting because there's been a lot of talk about Mason Wynn and the decision to keep him playing on an everyday basis, despite the fact that he is playing through some pain. So Walt sent in a message and says he's angry. He said, if you notice the replay of Wynn scoring on Contreras' last hit, that he was limping noticeably. He says, time for Ollie to be the adult in the room. Allowing a player to decide to play through injuries has resulted in further injuries. Arenado, Donovan, and now Wynn. Walt, I understand your point. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand the optics of this thing. The optics don't look great. All I can tell you, I'm not a doctor. I haven't seen the medicals, and if I did see the medicals, I wouldn't know what any of it meant. Go back to answer one, I'm not a doctor. So I preface everything I'm about to say with the I'm not a doctor. When Wynn talked to us about this, he said that they did the imaging, and there had actually been some improvement from the previous imaging that they had done, and the type of injury that he is dealing with, it is not one that playing on it is going to result in him injuring it more or turning it into a more serious injury. That's what we're told. Walt, I get it. The optics of him limping, him not looking great out there, it doesn't look great, and you're just sitting there going, this team's 99% chance that this team is not going to be a playoff team. Why are you running him out there every single day? Why are you allowing him to play every day? So I have no reason not to believe the Cardinals. I also am well aware of the history of information that we have been given sometimes when it comes to injuries, and all of a sudden something that was said to us is not as true at one point as it was previously. So I'm not running. I mean, look at the Tommy Edman situation from last year where it started as, oh, he's gonna, he'll be available for the start of spring training. Well, he'll be available for Grapefruit League games. Well, he'll be available for some Grapefruit League games. Well, he'll be available for the start of the season. Well, there's no way he's going to end up on the 60-day injured list. And the message just kept changing. So I acknowledge and I recognize the fact there are some times where we are given information that has to do with medicals and it ends up not being completely true. And whether it's not true in the moment or circumstances change, I don't know. I'm not overly worried about that. That's a really long thing to say. If it is true that there can be no further extended injury to Wynn by him playing on it every day, I don't have a problem with him playing on it every day. If there is any chance that playing on it every day can make the injury worse, then he should not be playing. That's where I'm at. He had indicated that there seemed to be a pretty good chance that to fix the issue that's there. Again, the issue isn't being made worse by playing on it. Sometimes it just barks at him a little bit more. That's not actually getting worse. It's just in the moment. There's some more pain that goes along with it. The indication had been given there's a good chance that this is going to result in some type of surgery in the offseason. If they know that's what it's going to be, if they know that there's not going to be any further damage done by playing on it, that's what they're doing. Again, I understand, Walt, and I spent a lot of time on this. I'm not trying to be dismissive of what you're saying. I'm just giving you the kind of the other side of it, if that makes sense. Sam sends in a message, says, nice job by Liberator, the sharpest he has looked in a while. He put a question mark on there. I would put an exclamation point on there. Yeah, it absolutely is. And it was good to see him get into the 6th inning and record an out in the 6th inning. That is something that has not happened a whole lot lately, so I was happy to see that. Our friend Teresa sends in a message, says, pitching was outstanding tonight. Libby was hot, loved the game. Gorman was confident and polished with great plays tonight. Well done, everyone. Let's see, kudos to scores on the board by great hits with Gorman and Contreras to drive in runs. All right, so yeah, good stuff from Teresa. Our friend Ball Game sends in his nightly text saying the 70th tip of the cap and raise the glass goes to Nolan Gorman and the reporter that asked Ollie the question about the coach-player huddles in the clubhouse. I really liked hearing how some players get feedback right after the game and some get it the next day. Like hearing how and when that takes place. That was Derek Gould from the Post-Dispatch who asked that question. I would assume that he is writing something right now about that kind of. Those seem like, I don't know. I don't know what Derek's doing, but just based off those questions, I would think maybe there's going to be some type of feature story that he's working on that hits on kind of the way that they prepare and the way that they look back and things like that. But yeah, it was certainly interesting to talk about. And obviously Nolan Gorman was really good tonight. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, and you can leave a comment on the chat on the video stream for those of you who are watching with us. We'll take a break and have more in just a moment. Cardinals get the win over the A's tonight. Take the series 2 out of 3. Final score this evening, 5-1. More of the Extra Innings Show in just a moment right here on KMOX.
You are a successful electrical contractor, but you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one? That's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done, but you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
When you own a business, you know there's no shortage of bold moments. At VOS, we're here to help you meet those moments in stride. Whether it's reducing your exposure to check fraud, setting up direct deposit, or helping make credit card processing seamless, VOS is here for you, your employees, and your customers. Are you ready for a better banking experience? Then make the bold move and switch to VOS today. Visit bankwithvos.com. Member FDIC.
There's a big red barn where you save green. Norm's Bargain Barn. On discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
Hey, facility managers. At Graybar, we're not just one of the largest distributors of electrical and datacom parts in North America. We're your connection to help make your buildings smarter. We work with best-in-class manufacturers to supply products for wireless, security, renewable energy, lighting, and critical power solutions. And we have a network of integrators nationwide that can help make it work all together. So, the next time you're thinking about making your building smarter, think Graybar, and we'll help you get connected. Visit graybar.com/connected buildings to learn more.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
Facing Contreras, a 3-1 pitch coming up, and that's hit towards left field, looping, and it gets by the left fielder, and it's going to go to the warning track. 1 run scores, here comes another. and Contreras is headed to third, and he's going to make it safely. 2 Cardinal runs, 2 big insurance runs here in the 8th inning, and the Cardinals now lead 5-1.
Cardinals get the win by that 5-1 final score. Welcome back in. This is the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX. If you want to join us, you can do so by calling or texting 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900, or by tweeting at me, at Matt Pauley on air, also leaving comments in the video chat. Let's talk to Larry, who's giving us a call. Hey, Larry, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Evening.
Hey.
Matt.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You're on the air.
Okay. The way I see it, I think the 6 teams in the American League and the National League that are in positions to go in the playoffs, I don't see any change. I think the 6 that are in each division are going to be the 6 that are going to represent. So with that said, I really think I'd like to see, and I don't know if you'd agree with this or not, because I know the Cardinals still think they have a shot, and that's good. Go for it. I'd like to see Scott lead off. I'd like to see those wheels utilized at the top of the order. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't like his offensive profile right now as the guy who gets the most at bats of anybody on the team. Like, I understand what you're saying, but he can go get on base in the 9 spot and essentially be the second leadoff hitter for the rest of the game from the 4th inning on. This is a guy who's hitting .223. This guy's gotten on base at .311. I love his speed. I love the long-term potential of him being a top-of-the-order guy. Now, Larry, I understand your point because you're saying, hey, this Cardinals team is probably not going to be in the playoffs. So if you're looking to give guys runway, as they've talked about all season long, well, then put guys in positions that maybe they fit into down the line. And that's a valid point. I'm not poo-pooing that whatsoever. I get that. I think he can use his speed out of the 9 spot as much as he can use his speed out of the 1 spot. The only time you're guaranteed to lead off an inning as a leadoff hitter anyways is that first inning. So if you want to send him a message and say, hey, Victor, you are our leadoff hitter of the future. We believe in you, and we're going to install you in this spot right now. If that's what the Cardinals believe, if the Cardinals think that their long-term leadoff hitter is Victor Scott II, then Larry, I'm with you. Throw him in the number 1 spot and let him go from there because, like you referenced, I basically agree with you about the playoff teams. I think the Rangers may have a chance of stealing a spot in the American League, but essentially we're on the same page on that one. But if it is not a foregone conclusion that Scott's going to be the leadoff hitter for this team in the future, I would probably just construct the lineup that gives you the best chance on a day-to-day basis. And I don't think that Scott in the leadoff spot right now gives you the best chance to win just based off his offensive profile. And the fact that, he just hasn't hit in a while. And admittedly, he was injured, so he didn't play all the games in August. But in the month of August, he's a 200 hitter. And since coming back from the injured list, he's a 200 hitter. And in the month of July, he was a 162 hitter. And in the month of June, he was a 211 hitter. This goes back for a while. The last time his batting average was even in the 240s was on June 17th. Do I have that right? No, June 20. I guess it gets into July a little bit. I beg your pardon. Last time was July 2nd. Is that right? Yeah. But, you get the point. Month by month, it hasn't been good. He's basically been a 200 hitter for the last 3 months. And so, no, I understand where you're coming from. I would respectfully disagree. Randy has given us a call. Hey, Randy, you're on the Extra Innings Show. Randy hung up. Sorry, Randy, we missed you. We'll have you call back on another night for sure, and we'll be able to get you in here as we're just about set to wrap things up. Got a text message asking if I think Major League Baseball is going to let Wilson Contreras out of the suspension. No, but I think they are going to reduce it, and every day that goes by without something being announced, I think the suspension is going to be reduced even more. When he first appealed it, I thought it would go from 6 to 4, maybe 6 to 3. As it goes further and further, I'm thinking maybe it's going to be more than that. Text message from the 314 asking if I think Mason Wynn is still playing because he's in Gold Glove contention. I don't think that is part of it. When he talked about this, he said, look, this team is still in playoff contention, and my job is to help the team get to the postseason. So I'm going to try to do that. So I think that's where he's coming from. And does he think about the Gold Glove sometimes? Yeah, probably. That's something that, is not something that he never thinks about. But I don't think that's the motivation at this point. I think that he really wants to try to help this team win as many games as possible. And we talked about this with Walt, who sent in messages earlier. Sometimes as an organization, you have to help players help themselves. The Cardinals seemingly don't think right now that they need to do that with Wynn. They don't think that he's going to be able to injure himself anymore, so they continue to let him go out there on an everyday basis. What's on Deck is presented by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best. ChesterfieldFence.com. So the Cardinals are off tomorrow, Thursday, and so we'll still have Redbird Rush Hour, by the way, tomorrow at 5:00. Myself and Kevin Wheeler, and then I'll have a full sports open line tomorrow evening from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And then they're going to get back at it when they open up. It's going to be a really fun weekend with a lot of things going on. The Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be going on. The 85 team is going to be celebrated. There's just a lot of stuff that's going to be going on. So hopefully you can get out to Busch Stadium and enjoy it. As far as what we're seeing in terms of pitching for the series, Michael McGreevy is going to go Friday. Andre Palante on Saturday. Sonny Gray is set to go on Sunday. On Friday night, it's going to be a 7:15 first pitch. That means our coverage is going to begin at 6:20. That's just about going to do it for this edition of the Extra Innings Show today. Thanks so much for being tuned in to the program, and I'll talk to you tomorrow beginning at 5 o'clock for Redbird Rush Hour right here on KMOX.
The following program has been pre-recorded.
Time now for the best of the DGS.